with your body, clever. Sorry, not sorry, sorry, not Justin Timberlake, write me a river. Lately I be having conversations with myself cause I feel like I have nobody to talk to. I be having conversations with myself cause I feel like I have nobody to turn to. Everything was green light, now we got the red. Could've had somebody else, chose you instead. I be having conversations with myself cause I feel like I have nobody to talk to. You tried to convince me it was all in my head, and I felt like it's not you, it's me instead. Hey, I wanted to rock with you, roll with you. Said you was my baby girl, then you left me too. Everything was kosher, perfect like a poster. Then I got word that you wanna lead a picture. Off with somebody else, off with the jerk. With the shame on me, I really thought that it could work. Off with somebody else, off with the loser. Shame on me, I really thought we had a... Lately I be having conversations with myself cause I feel like I have nobody to talk to. I be having conversations with myself cause I feel like I have nobody to turn to. Everything was green light, now we got the red. Could've had somebody else, chose you instead. I be having conversations with myself cause I feel like I have nobody to talk to. Everything was green light, now we got the red. Could've had somebody else, chose you instead. Yeah, lately I be having conversations with myself cause I feel like I have nobody to talk to. I be having conversations with myself cause I feel like I have nobody to turn to. Everything was green light, now we got the red. Could've had somebody else, chose you instead. I be having conversations with myself cause I feel like I have nobody to talk to.
Was I guess Samantha to come in. We gone live, I guess. Probably. If so, it's a global greetings to the world. It's another edition of the topics here on Real Entertainment Network. We are live and lively with you with another edition. And yeah, tonight it's, National Heroes Day celebrated here in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. It's a day where we reflect on the great works and contributions of many who were there before us. And it's a time in our history where it's very reflective. People take the time out and go and visit, whether it's a National Heroes Park or spend time with a number of activities that's usually held, as it's a holiday that's celebrated. But we're gonna get into a number of things this evening. But before we do get into a number of the topics that we have on the table, I'm gonna introduce my co-host Ras Banky Shabazz King, and as we say, good evening, to the general public.
Yes, and greetings and good evening to those tuning and listening already. Greatly appreciate the guys tuning in on another Tuesday evening, even though it's a holiday here, which is National Heroes Day. Not really overstand the one because it's all politician and me not really dig that one day. I think every citizen to contribute should be able, with the right criteria, can also be a national hero. When it comes to sportsmen, farmers, fisher folks, anyone within the community, teachers. So let me say good evening to the folks here in Oli and Liamega. Greatly appreciate the guys tuning in to this Real Entertainment Network, one of the fastest growing network here, media in the Federation of Oli and Liamega, which is your first time listener, which is the ancient name for St. Kitts and Nevis. Hopefully one day our people see it fit where we can change the name and have everything documented as it's supposed to be. and move away these colonial names. Let me say good evening to the folks right to the neighboring islands, St. Martin, Saba, Statia, Anguilla, the U.S. Virgin Islands, the BVI, also the folks over in Montserrat, and the folks over in Antigua and Barbuda, not forgetting the folks over in St. Vincent, St. Lucia, Dominica, and the folks all up in Jamaica. Greatly appreciate you guys tuning in. Also the folks in the diaspora from North America, down from the Florida Keys, right up to Maine, not forgetting Chicago, Atlanta, Texas, New York, Boston, wherever you are to the sound of my voice in the diaspora, and also in Europe, different time zones really, where it's late in the morning or early in the morning or in the evening. So whichever is appropriate, greatly appreciate you guys tuning in. Also, folks over in Asia, Africa, appreciate you guys listening to your entertainment network. So it shows you have an interest in what's going on in the Federation of Oli and Layamiga, which is St. Kitts and Nevis. Here we bring what's going on in the island, in the Federation, whether it's political, agricultural, global, regional. It's just an educational show where we're not being biased against anyone. We just bring the facts and information to you guys, and also it's a show where you all made your contribution. So it's a back and forth thing where we interact with you guys, and you guys voice your views, and it also respected. We're also not to defame anyone, and also always be respectful. We have everyone listening, and if you want to explain yourself where someone in kindergarten can overs what you're saying. So yes, and good evening.
Yes, it's a pleasure being here another Tuesday evening with another edition of the Topics. Originally, we would have had planned some guests for this evening. We were hoping to have a word with some of the organizers of the very interesting pageant, agricultural pageant that should be coming up on the 20th of this month, the day after Independence. So that's something for you to look forward to, going out and celebrating. So we would have had Merla and Hydeia Tyson, who would have been here, but they're looking to reschedule to come on Friday. Hydeia is not necessarily doing the best. So we will definitely be scheduled to have them on the platform so that they can help to encourage folks to come on out to the pageant. Banky, I am loving the theme of the show. I think they did it. I think they did it in 2023. They didn't do it in 2024, but they are back again in 2025. And I think that the idea and concept behind doing a show like that should be, commended and should be really given the sort of attention and push by the public. And I'm hoping that, everybody in Nevis and even folks from St. Kitts can come out and support the youth, because we a lot of times, sometimes, when things happen negatively with the youth, we always complain, oh, the youth this and the youth that. But when it's time to support the youth in something positive and encourage them and inspire them, sometimes we're not in the front line, and this is an opportunity to do such. But as we're talking about the pageant bank, I just want to take a little bit of time, and seeing that the two members were supposed to be a part of the show, and at least the first part of the show this evening, I'll take a little bit of time and go through the flyer, because I have it here up in front of me. And it's the New Rivers Farmers Cooperative Society. And this is another thing, Banky, as we're speaking about the show. The fact that we do have a number of cooperatives on the island, but in a lot of cases, sometimes people say that the cooperatives are not functioning and they're not doing things and so on. And here is it that you have a cooperative that seemingly is ensuring that their name and presence is felt and recognized, and show that they're not just doing something for themselves and for their own community, but they're seeking to embrace the entire island as they push forward in the agenda to encourage agriculture among the population, and also I must say as well among women, because it's names spoke to, even though there are other male members who are part of the New River Cooperative Society. The president is a female, and Hydeia as well, who is a very much involved member, is also female. So we got to really give thanks to and actually highlight that as well. And the fact that the cooperative society is still strong. That is what they demonstrated. The Miss Princess pageant is what they would have been here to promote, which will take place, as I mentioned earlier, on the 20th of December, and it would be at 7 p.m. at the Nidax Cultural Complex. So that is right there where they would have had the Queen show and the Calypso show, and that's where Culturama takes place. Theme, like I mentioned, our green economy and me, banking, and that is the theme of the pageant, and you would be now, I guess, getting various performances from these 6 beautiful ladies that young princesses that I'm seeing here on the flyer. Come on out, and whether it's dramatize or sing or put together something that is going to be on that theme, our green economy and me, and it's only $30 to get you in. All this is only $30. Children, just $20. And we have, I'm seeing here a representative from the St. Thomas's Primary. I don't want to butcher anybody's name here, so let me look at these names to see if I am in a position to call these names here. Okay, but I'm seeing Tharia Huggins of St. Thomas's Primary. We have Rain. Let me see, what's that? Okay, I'll just use Rain of Montezuri, because I don't want to butcher that last name. We have Portia Perkins of the Charlestown Primary. We have Raina Davis of the Joycelyn Libert Primary. We have Chazariah Taylor of the Navy's Academy. And we have Renice Hanley of the Mart Cross Preparatory. So you have 6, schools participating in this event, and I am really loving. I don't know about you, Banky, but I've seen some of the ads. I think I saw the one from the Montessori Academy and so on. I mean, these people are taking it to the level where it's really getting some serious promotion. So I'm hoping that folks can really go on out and support the youth, because Banky, if we are really serious about agriculture here in St. Kitts and Nevis, this is where it really starts. We got to really start with the youth and start to get the youth involved and let the youth them also empower, their parents, and start to see agriculture from a different perspective. As they say, our green economy and me. And so I'll be looking forward to seeing the performances, how they tie into the theme. And I'm really, really hoping that, everyone in the Federation can go on out and support Miss Earth Princess pageant. And so we do apologize for Merla and Hydeia not being able to be on the platform this evening. And we were to also have another guest, Banky, Samantha, who would have been a stage 3 cancer patient who would have been sharing her story. So we are going to have to reschedule our guests for another program. We really sincerely apologize for the challenges that we would have had, and we definitely will reorganize and get them back on the platform. Like we said, in the case of Merla and Hydeia, we're looking to be able to reschedule them and give them some time between the Friday Everything Agriculture slot, which would be very perfect as well and very much closer to the time. We will reschedule for some other time with Samantha. So Samantha, I do apologize. We definitely will work on getting that again. As we get back to the program in Banky, we already see that people are dropping in their comments on the program. So I'll take a minute and seek to go through the comments that I'm seeing here, at least on the Facebook platform, and at least one that is on the screen is speaking to would actually look real jokey if a SSZ could set up within a sovereign state and provide more resources than the actual government they are doing business with. Well, I don't know if it's a follow-up comment to something that I would have missed, but we already have the comments coming in, and we want to take this time to encourage you to feel free to make your comments on the wall, whether it's on the YouTube platform or the Facebook platform or the Twitch platform. The comments would be read as much as possible. We try our best to appreciate the fact that you are with us and give you that space when you do make your comments. And the numbers to call in usually slides across the screen, so you will definitely see the numbers to call in: 1-869-665-8459. Banky, I don't know if you're back in operation yet in terms of the phone line, but yeah. Oh, you're on mute. You're on mute.
Yeah, my phone is up and going.
Okay, so that's 662-7196. So that's 1-869-662-7196, and those are the numbers to call in if you wish to be a part of the program. And we do appreciate all of you who do call in. Without you, the callers, and those who make the comments on the wall, we would be just here talking to ourselves. So we really appreciate you guys and girls actually participating and being a part of the program. So Banky, what's going on with you? What you want to put on the agenda first?
Well, I just want to continue where you started off with the New Rivers Farmers Association. They showed that they're coming up Miss Princess Earth. The first one that was kept in 2023. I definitely supported that. Was enjoying myself. It was a beautiful show. I know the youth and them who entered that show came out with a lot of knowledge, and hopefully that knowledge had impact something within them and encourage them to take some leeway when it comes to the agriculture sector and have an impact on them. So I was looking for the one last year, but somehow I'm not sure what will happen. But I'm happy to know that they're back on with another and continue with the show, because it's something that should be encouraged and a yearly thing. And also it can even reach to a point where the culturama itself can have a theme when it comes surrounding agriculture itself, when it comes to promote and boost the economy in a sense like that. So we got to really find theme in this time, because it's all cultural really. And if you, the two most important thing of a society is the culture and the land. And if you lose those two things, the reality is it might as well you just forget about existing, because you don't have a purpose to live. That's just the reality. And I mean, you're being controlled by someone else. But definitely, I'm looking forward for the show on Saturday. Once I can able to make it, I'll definitely go and show my support, because it will really be a high quality show. I must say, evening wear and dramatization and different stuff, well put together, just like any show when it comes to the the carnival shows and stuff like that. Is that type of quality of show. So the price is very reasonable, and it's for a good cause, as you said. And I think some of the donation also go to some of the schools also. Let me say, I mean, last week, Friday, there was an awareness march by the NRP in Charlestown. Not an awareness march, what I must call it. Well, it was a standstill in the plaza, the square right there in front of the castle bus stop. So I guess it was an awareness, but it was not a march. So that seemed to have went off well. When it comes to the agenda, when it's going on, when it comes to the development of the South Side. Also, there's another one coming up next week, Friday, by the Citizens Empowerment Coalition. This is a registered party, I must say, where individual independent candidates come together and register under this banner, but you still have your own say, your own views, but at the same time, as independents, you're come under one roof in once election come and you're working with one voice, more or less, but you still have your views and different stuff. You're not burdened by anyone, limit you what you can say, what you can't say. So, which is fine. So this will be organized by DJ Mari Show. This will be held next week Friday, starting time 3 o'clock. The gathering time around 2:30 by the St. Kitts Ferry Terminal, they call it the West Side Terminal, and we'll do march. Go. You can find the information from DJ Mari Show webpage. Also, if you want more information about this march, you can call 1-869-660-0195 or email Grand Avenue djm@gmail.com, and you'll get more information. The march is from 3 to 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. 3 to 6 p.m. So definitely I'll have to be back I'll definitely want to go down and support this march, because definitely, your son, your land got to be protected, your heritage got to be protected. And as I said last week, there was the Prime Minister lecturer and the young lady that she spoke about information, and the information should be controlled by the natives. It's very important, because and your heritage, if the information is not controlled by your own, it means the narrative can be changed, and you would lose a generation of false information be perpetrated on top of your people. But somehow our people don't see these things and realize the importance. All we see is money, 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 and down the road. Yes, I might transition in the next 50, tomorrow, anytime. We are all just on Russian roulette. We can exist anytime and just gone. But our children and their children is still us and my four ancestors millions of years ago. So I'm just living, they're living through me. So once we understand the cycle of life and how things, we are just like the tree, The tree just keep, if a mango tree, then you drop a seed, the mango tree, the young one, but we just, we're creating ourselves. Once we understand that, we're good to go. You want to know your purpose, where you're from, and who you are. You have done your part, Virgin. All you got to do, plant food, because without food, our fuel, we don't exist. But yes, and everything being good, we get in rain. I mean, putting in, keep planting, keeping the farm up to date, because food is something that's always needed. The farm is, I'm very pleased how the farm is at this point, at least 95%. How I want it to be. The next 5% is when next year, this time, the jelly cheese are bearing. Because I already have jelly cheese all over, just in less than a year. Next one will make a year, jelly cheese all over 8 feet, 9 feet with the leaves, real tall. This time next year, I have at least 300 jelly cheese fruiting. I mean, have planting, a lot of avocados, green bananas, cassavas. Just planted out 2 sets of sorrel. Have some melon coming in within the next 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks. So that will be about the middle of next month. There'll be some crimson sweet. This week I'll start planting out some more crimson sweet along with some Charleston gray. So you just keep planting and keep enjoying the farm and the environment. And anyone who want to visit with the tours at Shabbos Agnes by Masters Last of Caseby. And then Thursdays, we cook soul food. You have your gong food and fish and different stuff. And Friday, you cook up. Saturday and Sunday, you get your lunch. You don't got to cook on those days. You can just come over, the nice space to chill on the veranda or the porch, gazebo, and enjoy the beachfront property that is right in front of your face right there, and still get a chance and still enjoy the farm at the same time. So you'll be having your lunch on a farm and enjoying the scenery surrounded by carambola and avocados and just different trees, pomegranate and stuff like that. So I just want to big up my cousin Aisha and Amanis, also Tasha. And also today is my sister in Atlanta, Joy birthday. I mean, I know she's somewhere in Las Vegas having fun. And then tomorrow, tomorrow I have mixed up my my sister, my brother. My brother birthday is today. My brother Sean in Virginia. So bro, big up yourself. And then my sister Joy is tomorrow, but she out in Las Vegas having fun. She and my nephew, her son there, Lazan. So big up to them there. So around this time, I'll get my brother and sister mixed up because it's just one behind each other. But they overstand that. But everything is good. Also, big up my daughter Jamila, the oldest one. She's there at work right now, but she's listening. So Jamila, big up yourself and your husband Daniel. But yes, and everything is great. You know, people keep visiting the farm. People let them know they're listening to the show and appreciate the job that we are doing and stuff like that. So just want to tell the listening audience to definitely come out to St. Kitts next week Friday and support the Citizens Empowerment Coalition that will be having their first public awareness march in a sense. So all is invited. When you come to your land, you have nothing to do with party and where you support. You have to do it because only you're going to do this, you know. Because if the non-nationals might support you or they might not support you, but you have a duty if you really love your island and have an interest when it comes to what's going on within the country. We thought if your land is given away when it comes to large development and you sell your land for this thing, I mean, down the road, you're going to be the minority, especially when things are forced upon you without no consultation and stuff like that. These are not very nice, especially under this time here where you have independence, the 42nd independence. I mean, this is like a Christmas independence birthday where you're giving away your resources for large development. Because within these kind of things, last one is really is those within the sector and the alliance of lawyers and so their friends or whatever, it's really them of these things. But when it comes to setting up, especially Nevis, you want to have a whole section of Nevis designated by large development where the locals is not part of this development. These things are not don't sit well with me.
Yeah, you know, Banky, the land issue, I think, will definitely be an issue that will not go away. I think that quickly and easily. I know there are some things that, you know, in a lot of cases we say it's 9 days and you talk about it and then, you know, you forget about it. You know, that's how a lot of things operate here. Stories out for a couple of days and then, you know, there's some other distraction or there's some other thing that takes you away from the topic. I don't think that this is going to be one such topic, and I think it might not necessarily be as much the bill itself, so to speak, as much as how it was done, how things would have manifested itself in relations to you know, those we would have elected to represent us and what their agenda is versus what our agendas are, and that balance between communicating what they may perceive that we may want versus the understanding that you really should come to us who you are working for to consult with us. And I think that is a big issue that is in the mix of what is happening here where the situation is concerned. And I think it has brought some things to light. And I think a lot of these politicians at this point is going to be looking at their efforts moving forward in a different way because the people are now paying a bit more attention and are actually seeking to make sure that, you know, they get consultation and that they're seeking to hold them accountable. And so this issue, I think, would be one of the issues that would be on the table for a very long time. The issue of the the show. I wanna go back to that for a little minute because, you know, it is featuring also young women, or young girls, and it is organized by some women who are in agriculture. And one of the things that we would have sought to put on the table for many years as we do the agricultural program is that we feel like agriculture should be made compulsory, a part of the curriculum and the syllabus. So you should start even from the preschool. It should be a part of the curriculum that is dedicated to agriculture in some way, shape, or form. I know in some ways certain things are taught in the science aspect of the curriculum, but that focus and emphasis on agriculture should be definitely highlighted. Each school, I think, should have a little garden that complements their cafeteria or kitchen
Well,
that,
well,
that
well,
cooks.
the garden part exists already, but it's just that the help, the support that they should be getting from the agriculture department is it should be more enforced. Let me use the word enforce and be more supported. But the schools, them, St. Thomas says they do have a gap, but teachers are not farmers, yes, son. And that is what
Right,
because teachers have so much things to do. You might have one or two who definitely have the passion and love for agriculture. So they do go out their way to do their best. But when family don't have half days, my virgin. When sports they come up,
right,
teachers don't have the time. Yeah. Well, as January hit the sports, my virgin, because sports start in February, and with that, that's it, Teachers don't have time.
right.
I mean, my daughter is going to Ivor Walters right now, and the week before they had it, we were going to meet the teacher. And when I reached the school, I mean, you can't even see a greenhouse, and they have a beautiful greenhouse, and sitting on almost 8,000 square feet of land, and it's just all overgrown. So myself and Desmond Bartlett culture just adapt it, and along with one or two of the people in the neighborhood who is a part of the Brownhill community group. I mean, I just get my weed whacker, go there the Sunday before and clean it up. We already planted out, and then got to big up Rudy Water Rush. I mean, he came in with his background clean and then extend some help and clean up the whole area. So which now that gonna be planted out with fruit trees and bananas and different stuff. Schools does not. I don't understand how this government have a budget when it come to not agriculture itself, but for the schools. Because the school education must need a budget, my virgin, for farming, for amenities what I need, and plus, when schools are closed, the first thing within the summertime, the government is supposed to create work to employ people in where the schools them need renovation and at least painting. When you have hundreds of students going into any particular school, you will see how the wall look when they've any done. That's part of maintenance and providing work. The Everwater School will need painting. You know what I'm saying? Just how the school closed and the day of school of in the summer, I saw the classroom them remain. So those who come in or the teachers had to clean up those classrooms. So if you're a new teacher entering a different class, you got to tidy up those classrooms and stuff like that. And these things are not right. So the minister of education, Troy Library, I mean, he gonna have to come better than this. And these are primary school. What about the high school where you have bigger kids? I mean, no one these are basic maintenance. You know what I'm saying? And these are things that should be upkeep all the time and you're going out fresh because it's important. You can enter in a cleanly environment and the aesthetics of the schools and them need to be just a lot more need pay attention need to be done in all the schools of them. I just like to see things in order. I mean, some people, I mean, even at the agriculture department, I will be on the PS them case as a virgin that building there that you see a fall down and will need some paint. There's a maintenance team. Putty and paint, just pressure wash and paint the building. I had took it up by myself and renovate the whole conference room. Because I don't want to be in an environment if a room is dirty, I feel dirty in my virgin. So I don't know how people dress up every day and put on tie and long sleeve and go in a room that is dirty. It's like you be just get about towel dirty. At the same thing. If the room dirty, you're dirty too. And then you're on AC. I rather be outside on and tree. I get fresh breeze. I ain't gonna force to be in an environment where I'm not comfortable. That's the kind of person I am. You see? Me gonna just follow no crowd in our virgin. Me nah do that. You see, and I teach my youth them the same way. Don't be afraid to walk away for you and walk off, you know. At least you're pleased within yourself, don't follow the masses. But we have to do a lot better. You see what I mean? Because agriculture is non-gender bias. If you buy any one of my sister house, you'll see the yard full of fruit trees and coconut trees and flowers and that kind of something. And them do the farming themselves. You can't go say, is the husband to do it? Or how you going to know how to do the farming? Who you going to know plant your food? And this is what the problem I have because the department don't take female serious. I get a complaint all the time. Even today, you have two females complaining to me how the agriculture department they don't take females serious and like they don't take a male serious. And that's the sad thing. Some of the best farmers I know are females. These are just the reality. You know what I mean? The young lady Hydeia, I mean, she did an internship at Indian Castle with me when she was going to study in Costa Rica. Beautiful hands-on lady, young lady. She just don't talk it. And that's why she's going to be successful. Because she just don't talk it. She run experiment. What she's doing is what I used to do when I was there. You see what I mean? I say, Hydeia, I need some tomatoes. What about these tomatoes? When they come to the place, it's hot. How they're gonna are they gonna flower and then they're gonna fruit? What's gonna happen? Bank here don't run the experiment. Boom, boom, boom. These one are the best results and whatever. This is what a farmer's supposed to be hearing. Not I go and buy seeds, and when I buy the seeds and plant them, the variety when it comes into hot weather now, they're just a flower now being a fruit. This is what the agriculture department and extension stuff is all about. So when she can tell someone like me these things, my heart feels good because this is the work that should be done. You get this marketing, bringing the seeds, and the extension staff them run the project and the variety of seeds, whether it's bell peppers, whatever, cucumbers, and which one survive best in the most strenuous weather and stuff like that. So when a young lady can tell me that, but I mean, I have all confidence. Is a young lady like she's supposed to be the PS director and these things. These are just the reality. If we can move away from, I mean, this party politics crap and put the right people in position who love for these things, you'll see real transformation. And they don't tie down people. The department need vehicles, my virgin. You can't have 6, 7 extension officers and have one vehicle, you know. And each of them get a vehicle for a day. Well, you mean one of them not get it at all. You see what I mean? Each of them need their own vehicle, my virgin. You have people who have a government vehicle driven up and down all, they not do nothing. But if the extension staff who work 7 days a week, because farmers call you anytime. And plus, if you're in charge of an estate, you have to go and check on the estate day, Saturday, Sunday, weekends, whatever, holidays. It does not matter. You hear the premier come here and say, Bank, you down there sleep and I talk to the plant. He exactly right. You understand? Which he should get an award for saying stuff like that, which means he understand how I take my work serious and the effort I put in. So when an estate of 40 acres have been demolished by his deputy, premier, his right-hand man, and then the golden child of CCM, who nobody could talk about, mash up 40 acres of food, and this independence time, well, who gonna take them serious? Who gonna take them serious? Yes, sir. Me supposed to take people that are serious? You fail in the department. The minister don't come and destroy his deputy and the whole agriculture department by admitting the failure of these people, you know. So when you have a young extension team in the Department of Agriculture, how they gonna take the chief extension officer serious? They're laughing after the minister and the whole staff and from the vet to the abattoir, every sector of agriculture have lost all respect for the minister and the chief extension, because what they have done is destroy a model that have put agriculture at the pinnacle that every Caribbean island have come to Nevis, model alpha, and they destroy it. And nobody can utter a word and speak about it. No accountability. And these people are getting paid every day. Don't show up to work. And the minister getting paid and feel well about it. Farmers not getting no resource. So these shows are important. Agriculture should all be mandatory, but agriculture will be up against stuff like accounting and this stuff. Woodwork or some other subject I don't know. I left school a long time ago. So I don't know, but it's not compulsory because we see these things as hard work and not important. Is someone in the low stream who is not academically inclined or whatever, all crap. Or let her do agriculture, I'll go learn construction. Without food, we don't exist, so I don't know how anyone can put any other thing over agriculture. That is just reality. You are no different than the plant, from the bees, from the dog. We all are living organism. We all must rest, must sleep, and the plant is the only living organism that don't depend on no other organism to sustain themselves. So we come last and we think we're the brightest. We're the most foolish set of people because we do not respect the environment we live in. If you want to make an environment you live in filthy, you turn it into a dump, which means we're living in a dump. The environment that we live in is a dump, my virgin. And this is what we now really overs. You see? We're not even taking the recycling thing serious. Our dump has already been overused. And these are still, so we got to do a lot more composting to come to save the dump. And these are things that I would have been giving initiative to the dump, to Mr. Hendrickson, talk to them personally, tell me write up some kind of some crap proposal. I mean, I don't know proposal. May tell you what you need to do. What a proposal is needed for. You have all these young tires out there, I gather flies and then I burn them up. Those things could be used to plant out too as a model. You see that and different stuff the same way. Instead of just having them there. Me need to wait on the proposal for that. The same thing when it comes to all the different things collected in the banks, the paper shredded and different cardboards and stuff like that. You can use different those with the inks and so forth. With not too much chemicals, you can use those to make different compost and use them back within the certain type of fruit trees and stuff like that for composting instead of burning them.
Yeah, you can use them for the earthworm casting and so as well, because that's good.
That's
food
of course.
Yeah, vermiculture.
Yes. So I mean, I always telling them things, but people always want to put this and put that. Just take the initiative, my virgin. So nothing have been done.
Banky, I hear what you're saying, right? But still, as well, in the world space that we live in, this is what a lot of these, whether it's investors or people who are going to put their money into whatever it is, would be requiring. They would require, whether it's a business plan, a pitch deck, or whatever it is, executive summary, whatever it is that you would have to
Minagi solid waste. Minagi solid waste, no proposal. Everybody are big people.
Why
you understand?
Not?
Agriculture is there. You talk to the peers and they don't collaborate. We collect the tires them, put them up, do a model in a prospect or wherever, set up a whole half acre with tires. That's the model. Set up drip lamp on them. Boom, boom, boom. It done. Simple thing. We talk too much. Me in another talking with people, virgin. Talking thing don't work with me. It's 5 minutes I went down there at Indian Castle, me culture, the PS at the time, Huey Sargent and Alexis Jeffers. 5 minutes and it done. Meaning in a talking thing. When they bring a set of people who bright, all you get a long conversation and nothing to do. Okay, everybody wanna. Meaning that culture in charge of water, culture want water day. Me now my babysit culture, hear the water man. Make sure me get water, the pressure good and me good. Roger in charge of water department. Roger, the pressure water is good. I could afford to run 40 acres of food and destroy and affect the general public water. Yes, Banky, everything is safe. Maybe sometime when it come to what we communicate, boom, boom, boom. So I man deal with things. I man in the junk talking thing. Talking to get things done, yeah, son. Me too old to talk. When me young, me not talk, me sure work. No, me the age, me to the talk, where people waste my energy. Me know that. Me function different. Works, man into. Not talks.
We got a Sherry and Richards in here, and there's a comment on the wall. It says, "Real talk, Banky. These government officials don't realize." Okay, that comment moved, but there's another one. I'm expecting fresh fruits when I visit Nevis for the first time next month, Banky. That's what people look forward to when they visit the Caribbean.
Yeah, man. That's my cousin. That's my cousin. They text us, Sherry Ann.
Yeah. Sherry. Okay. Well. Yes. Before I get into another topic here, I wanted to take a little time out because I'm thinking to myself, right, that this pageant, Miss Earth Princess, and I love, how they are really dubbing the title Miss Earth Princess. So you're the princess of the earth, and it's St. Thomas's, Montezuma, Charleston Primary, Mad Cross Preparatory, Nevis Academy, Joycelyn Liebert Primary. And, those of you who are listening, if you want to put in, who you're really supporting and maybe, give your feedback and, share your support and so on. But I wanted to take a minute, Banky, because I know it's a little promo for them, but I'm not even looking at it as a promo for them. I'm just looking at it that I think it is worth noting those who would have sponsored the show and sponsored the teen, the young princesses, because it's agriculture, and to see that there's some people who really still willing to commit and invest in agriculture. We hope that they can come and invest with the platform as well too. But we have the St. Thomas's Primary sponsored by National Caribbean Insurance. We had the Montezuma is sponsored by Rodney's Cuisine. The Charleston Primary is sponsored. Yeah, man. The Charleston Primary is sponsored by the Nevis Credit Cooperative. The Nevis Cooperative Credit Union. The Mart Cross Preparatory is sponsored by Wilkerson Backhoe and Trucking Services. The Nevis Academy is sponsored by SL Hosfords and Company Limited, and the primary is sponsored by TDC Groups of Company. And so, I am just giving them a little props because they're actually supporting agriculture, and anybody I think that is investing in agriculture and investing in our youth and investing in young girls learning a little bit more about agriculture and, helping to highlight the concept of our green economy and me, I think is really worth noting. So I really want to applaud all those who support and want to encourage folks, as we said at the beginning, to go on out and support the pageant. It's the second year and it's agriculture. We want to make sure that it gets bigger and better every time. So, go on out and support. Yes, go ahead, Banky.
All right, let me touch on as the PRO for the Charleston Secondary School executive. I also want to give a promote to the 75th anniversary of the Charleston Secondary School, a school that both of us attended, 75 years ongoing. The Miss CSS, which is a continued show they've been doing over the years, and this one will be held, have at least 4 beautiful young ladies will be taking part in this pageant also, and this will be on October the 18th, which will be on a Saturday at the same venue, the NIDA Cultural Complex. So definitely go and support. You have some of the sponsorship by Islander, you have Nelson Spring Water, you have Paradise Sun, and you have, this is an international, like is a trans service, ITS. Yeah, so those are the sponsors for the Miss CSS, which these shows are usually well attended. It's high schools. I know Gingerland also used to have as a Miss Gingerland pageant. I'm not sure if that show still continue, but these are things that will encourage, that will lead up into as the children then get older and the youth then get older, they will easier to enter the national queen show and stuff like that. So it's important that these village shows and community shows, pageants, and also those that the young male then can enter to learn their craft and stuff like that, and build their confidence and speeches and stuff like that is attended. So definitely, I'm always one who always like the pageants and the calypso shows and stuff like that. So always as a youth supporting these things, and still do. And I'm not sure, most likely my dad will want to go to Miss CSS. I'm not sure, so I'm going to have to go with her if not she go to our auntie. But definitely I myself would want to go and support those within the agricultural show and stuff like that. So definitely looking forward for that one on Saturday. Yes.
Yeah, and Banky, as we continue, just want to big up Troy Sadio logged in. Bless Love it, Banky and my family. Love the ideas and motivation. Agriculture is life. Who can live without provisions, food? Yeah, so give thanks to some
Yes,
of
sir,
the
my
new
brethren.
followers and folks who are logging in, for the first time and, finding us and sharing the energy. I think I saw Brother Laughton um, on the program earlier on
Pemberton.
too as well. Yes, said that he just
Yes.
found us and he's happy that he found us as well. And so to all those who are logging in and making your comments and so on, we really want to appreciate you being here and appreciate you taking time out to be a part of the platform and to be a part of the discussion. Feel free to add your comments and or topic, and we are open to shift and entertain whatever it is that you bring to the table. So you can also call in at 869-469-16. Sorry, what am I saying? 869 665-8459 and 869-662 7196 as we continue on the program. So the numbers again are 869-665-8459 or 869-662-7196 if you want to be a part of the program. So,
But yeah, son,
full speed.
let
Yes,
me
go
add
ahead.
some.
Yeah, go ahead.
We are at 42. We are at 42 years of independence as we celebrate National Heroes Day today, and on the 19th we have independence of 42 years. In 1970, there was a national disaster, where hundreds and hundreds of our own people have lost their lives, and up to now there have been no compensation that I know of. I stand to be corrected, and all this government that is way before independence, 13 years before independence. So how can something like this goes down with for small island per capita? I mean, this might be one of the biggest throughout the Eastern Caribbean. And you're telling me there are people, I mean, all of us have family members who suffered after the Christiana disaster, where people were buried in mass grave. And every day you hear people speak about these things. And we say our politicians love us. That's where you see their independence coming out, Yasan. And that's what you see is the people empowerment. The people got to empower themselves and take themselves away from these party politics and put the resources into the people hand, regular people.
But
Because we
Banky,
realize, in this,
we also need to be
how come then?
engaged in some of these discussions as we get
Well,
closer
as I say,
to these
I
times.
mean, enter
Go
certain
ahead.
things because I mean, just listening to them, I had it on the radio and just listening all the different ads they play and speeches with Bradshaw and the different clips they play with Mr. France, and 9 years Mr. France have run from since 1954 up until 1984 or something like that. So we say, wow, and they might never lose a seat. You see what I mean? But I'm just saying these things, especially the Christiana disaster. There should be reparation paid upon these things, and also for those when it comes to the cannabis, where the government have accept fault and know they have been infringing on the rights of its citizens. Those two things, especially the Christian disaster, and they got to pay compensation on that. You see, it's very important. You leave here, go all the way, yeah, you want reparation. Of course, that must be paid too. But what you have done to our own people where the government is at fault, because them own the boat. Me no want to twist it and turn
But
it and talk about
Banky,
insurance. Me no want to hear about that. I don't want to hear about that.
but
You understand?
one
We
of
need
the
to put, yes.
arguments I think I've heard was at that time the it was not independence, so the government would have been the
Case,
British or
Virgin.
the crown,
I don't want to
government.
hear about that. Yes, son, yes, son, yes, son. Me not, you just take up $16 million out of the National Bank. Give to some company or some out of Christopher Harbour who have failed for 20 plus years to bring $17 billion of investment. You just take out the next 17 or $16 million, give it to the same company again. You see what I mean? To pay off bills in America. You still take up money, give the same company that not pay social security, not pay water bill, not pay current bill. They don't fail. And this like investing in them. Well, you say, well, you don't want $1 million, easy dollar, not even or 500,000 to set up your farm. So how you entertain these people and the foolishness? I don't want to hear what they got to say. They could swallow it because they won't come back and tell you that comma been changing the constitution. And you hear the premier say so again all of this week and last week. So when I hear them things, I don't even enter, they can't watch out. My brain is a computer, you know. So certain things now register up inside, yeah. Them they just pass out, them they now work, them they can't register. So you who care about not independence? Money is there, my virgin. So how you not pay reparation when people have died and still have suffered, never grow up and know their mother or their father and their siblings? My cousin, my family, Azzy lost his mom, his siblings, them on the boat when he was 10 years old. Don't write to book. And if Azzy have to speak about that, he cry. And that's a man, elder. So these things, we are just big children in a virgin. We all are crazy people who walk with emotions in a play with smart and put on a mask and everything is all right. We are crazy people. We just learn how to deal with emotions. So I don't take on this foolishness with these people coming and telling people nonsense. There comes a time when the people have to rise up, you know. People rise up all over the world, you know. And we all have the same gene pool. So I ain't smarter than you, my virgin, yes, son. So anybody who think they're smarter than me, can me not think me smarter than the next man? Well, I wish them all the best with that. Because I still listening to my children.
The thing is, it's not that I don't agree with you that there should have been a compensation package that go to those who would have survived and the family members and all that. I just sought to present the argument based on what I would have
ignore
seen
the argument, the dumb argument. Ignore the dumb argument. Let's go along with that.
Yeah,
but they're playing people emotions.
At least at the same time, just for edification, we sometimes need to help to give our listeners the perspective. You know, so I guess from what I understand, it was before independence. So whoever's supposed to pay the compensation would have been on the British side because the boat belongs to the crown or the government or the crown colony government or whatever it is they had at the time or the plantocracy government or whatever.
So you who run the boat are putting fuel. So you not you have no responsibility
for your own people.
So who bury them? Put them in a mass grave.
So hear what I'm saying?
The British government.
This government, no, I guess the argument is is the British government who should pay this compensation, and I guess that is the one of them. But I hear your argument in the sense that we have made enough money, and the CBI and all of that, and all this money that we would have gone through, they should have been able to have a compensation package for them after all these years, because at the end of the day, whether it's the British government or this government, it was the fault of government. So I hear that argument, and I think that in all respects, yes, that is something that should be discussed.
Well, once the universe align things, and I have to be a member of parliament, that won't be done, you know. That will be done.
That's one of the things on your agenda.
So anyone who not accept that, you understand? They go figure out about the party card. That have to be done. They have to be settled, my virgin. You gotta bring peace to your people. You can't have generations.
One of the reasons why I alluded to the point that I was making in regards to the perception that is the crown, it would have been the crown and so on. Part of it stems from a question I was going to ask you earlier, if we are really independent when we're talking about independence, because the reality is...
Of course we are, yes, sir. Of course, for politicians.
When we do elect...
You're independent for politicians?
No, because the politicians who we vote for and elect, when they are inaugurated, they pay allegiance to King Charles III, his heirs and successors. They pay an allegiance to us, and they pay an allegiance to maintain that system that was an oppressive system that was never designed for us. And these people who we elect swear to uphold that system. And that is one of the reasons why the constitution that they have, because I was having a conversation with an elder, and one of the things he was telling me that back in that time, just prior to independence, when they were gonna get independence, when Sinkis and Nevis made the presentation for independence, it was said that Thatcher took his constitution to England. They rejected it and then presented what they wanted, and I think Limo accepted it and others. But it was said that that was the kind of mindset that, Thatcher had, that we would have been doing our own thing. But we have found that those who have fallen under the independence and was given that constitution that we have, which they all claim is flawed, and they all claim, all the governments who we would have had. And so I'm not pinpointing any specific government, but all of them, Labour, PLP, all of them claim that the constitution is flawed, but none of them has made any effort to change even a comma in this constitution. And they play allegiance to continue to maintain that system which they claim is oppressing us. So are we really independent when who we are supposed to be independent from is who we play allegiance to? Are we?
You see,
is it just a
we got to
political
realize.
game?
Yes, son, if you want to be independent, there's a lot of things you must truly be able to do. You must be able to feed yourself. You must be able to secure the masses of land for your people and put yourself in a way where you can grow your economy and control your natural resources. And we are not doing that. You see? So it's just a term to say you get some freedom that they're using, in a sense, from the colonizers. But when it comes to true independence, you can look around us and realize we speak about these things every day. You can see it. Because we don't believe in developing our own resources, our land ourselves. We are look outside for people to come in and develop our land, build this, build that. We have the best engineers, but yet we not put our resources into our people. You know what I'm saying? So what are we really saying? What are we really saying? You have some of the best contractors, best builders, best engineers of everything, and this little tiny island here can compete to anyone from anywhere or any larger with millions of people, and you can't tell the difference when it comes to you're literally different with the skill set and the different type of building that we do here, because we are great. We come from greatness, that is embedded in us, We have traditional skill set when it comes to plants, medicinal plants, and all that a lot of people do not have. And we're taking this thing for granted. These are millions of years of information passed on to us that we still use today. When people come to my farm and they want to know the knowledge I have, when it comes, they just look in news. So I tell them what I want to tell them. They're not going to extract certain information from me. They're not going to work because I know better. They just look in news and spies. So me overs that, you see. So the word independence don't phase, because as you hear me say over and over, everything that I know now, I sit here in a box of library around of me, because I'm always a curious youth who always question everything: why, where, when, what, how, that. So you're supposed to go, and then people going to ask much of questions because they wanted to accept, but I don't accept. Every human have a right to find his path and seek, and education is not what I tell you, True education is educating yourself. You see, once you have done that, you have unlocked the box, You ain't got to go with of nothing how people see things, They can see things how they want to see things because they were school that way to see things that way. But when you're not school to see things that way, you see things how they are to be and question it. And it's okay to be different. And it's okay to stick to your point and don't follow the masses. So I overs, my children them overs, and it's always big good. And once people can't overs you, the first thing they want to say you're crazy. And once they say you're crazy, you don't know. You're doing the right thing. You see? You're doing the right thing. And that's a beautiful thing, because all the same person who look up to, they say crazy, isn't it? So that make any sense? So what that's it? So I mean everybody should want to be crazy then.
Banky,
all the heroes,
as you're talking about crazy, I think I'm going to switch a little bit from the independence, at least from that aspect of independence to this level of
Yes.
independence that we should have, but seemingly we are being stifled because of the fact that we have ministers who are being paid to address this issue, but are refusing, blatantly refusing to do the work which they are being paid for. And it is in the area of the cannabis. Um, I,
Yes, I.
I, 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 I am trying to really understand why and what is the rationale behind um, this intent to supply um, argument that is being presented by the police in terms of seeking to still stifle the freedoms that are given to citizens where cannabis is concerned. And I say freedoms that are given to citizens because if it is gazetted, if it is law, it should be freedom. If the government, in terms of the executive and the regulators, have failed and are failing to do what they should do, the citizens should not suffer as a result. So something need to be done, whereas the executive and those who are at the helm need to speak with whether it's the chief of police and whoever the heads of these organizations are to put in place a moratorium. But in the meantime, you not harass people where cannabis is concerned. You have a lot more other things to deal with. Armed robbery, shooting, all kind of different things happening in society. Cannabis should not be one of the things that should be hitting the headlines talking about intent to supply. And one of the reasons why I'm speaking to the intent to supply aspect of it, Bank, is because I think there's a lack of education where some of these persons who are charged with discharging these duties in terms of going out to present these arguments about intent to supply. Now, they claim that you could have 5 or 6 trees that are growing on your premise. Each person, each individual is allowed to have 5 trees. Now, they claim that you should have a license for the 5 trees. I don't subscribe to that argument, but for this argument's sake, for what is legal at this point, what they claim, that is what is necessary. However, like we are saying, if you're supposed to go to the Ministry of Ecclesiastic Affairs, which is the ministry that deals with the 5 trees and the 56 grams that you can walk with, and if you want to set up a lounge and all that, at this point, you cannot get a license. You cannot get the license because that ministry has not gotten themselves together in terms of putting the regulations in place so that we, the citizens who wish to be able to go the legal route, can go the legal route. So it's not our fault. It is law already that we can do this and we should be able to do this. However, the regulators, and this is government has 3 arms. You have the executive, which put these regulations in place and put the laws in place and should put the regulations together. You have the legislative, which is the law, the police and the military and so on, who enforces those laws. And then you have the judiciary, who make sure that if anybody infringe and so on, that they get justice. That the police don't, ill-treat the civilians and the civilians don't infringe the laws. However, here is what I am looking at. I am a farmer. And just like many other people who grow plants, they might not necessarily be farmer. So they might not have the knowledge and skill set that I have, where I could take a plant and grow it to the point where I can get maybe 3, 4, 5 pounds from one plant. Now, you're telling me
True, of
that I
course. Good
can
point.
grow 5 plants. So if you come by my place when I've just harvested 2 of those plants that are 5 pounds each, that means I have 10 pounds. What guarantee, what is, how do you quantify that now that my 10 pounds I have with intent to supply? Now, in terms of using
about
those
that,
10 pounds,
son.
in terms
Then I
of
have
using those 10
that
pounds,
knowledge.
Banky, it's just like any value added, it's just like any value, any crop that you're growing.
Them no care.
If you
Of
grow
course.
a pile of watermelon, right? You have to find a way, after you harvest them, you have to find a way to make sure that
To
you can
store them.
store them in a
Of
way
course,
that
definitely.
it's
To preserve
conducive for the
them.
customer, the next consumer who you're
Extend.
going to sell it to.
Yes.
Now, we know if we put it in the
Extend the
chill,
shelf life.
if we put it in the
Yes.
chill, we can't every minute go in the chill and take out, and every minute go in the, because you're going to change the temperatures.
Yes.
So you're going to put in what is supposed to go in the chill, and if you have orders already, you have those out and not put them, as you know, of the issues. And it's the same way. If you harvest your cannabis and you know you have to store it, because after harvesting and you have to cure it, you have to store it. You
Of
have to
course.
seal it, whether it's in Ziploc bags
Yes.
or in vacuum
Buckets,
seal
whatever
bags
it is you
or in
choose.
bucket or whatever it
Yes.
is. You have to seal it.
Yes.
But anytime you have to go back to that seal, every time you start to break that seal, then you are risking or reducing the so which means
quality.
now if I have some buckets, I'll have to have some smaller quantities in some smaller bags or packets if I'm going to use them. So I might have some in what they may call the ounce bags, 2 ounces bags, quarter pound, because I might be
Yes.
using for different reasons and I might need different quantities. So I wouldn't have to, you wouldn't want to be in a position where you have to open up a bag with a pound or 5 pounds just to get a 2 spliff or to get some to make some tea or
Yes.
some to get some oil or something like that. And so I think that those
Of course.
persons who are seeking to uphold the law should be more informed on the cannabis. And so what I am saying, if I can get 5 pounds from one tree, or let's say 4 pounds from one tree, 4 fives, that's 20 pounds. So that's 20 pounds I will get from my
Even if I'm
tree.
pound.
And you come in my house and you make me 20 pounds. You're going to say that I'm intending to supply? I have to wait another 3 months to get another 5 trees. So my 20 pounds is to hold me for those months when I'm ready to go again.
The man is the whole joke, brethren. It's the whole joke. That's what it is, a joke. Because you see, remember, you know, your son. Remember, you know, we came a couple of years ago. I came until I spoke to Inspector Carty and them. We would invite them to the show, and the man say, "Well, suppose you shouldn't come big like the children up in the burying ground, the mahogany trees them. So me ask what I have to do with it. Is a tree be still? Man said them tree too big."
What you mean too big?
How you gonna tell Mother Nature how big to grow? That is the whole point. The people who control this thing have no clue about the plant. All they just see. Remember, you know, the same wise people, wise men them, 11 of them, you know, and the team unity, they went in and says a non-poisonous plant. Well, banana non-poisonous, sauce up non-poisonous. So how you still find the same non-poisonous plant?
You know, as you said, they need to be educated about the plant. Do they realize that cannabis is a perennial, meaning that it can just grow just like how I mean, and for years and years, you can just cut the buds and leave on a couple of flowers and it grow again for the next year and it continue growing. The trunk can come big like your hand, you know, and it spring back. It can go, so a tree can go big like a neem tree,
a mango tree, any tree, yes,
a mango tree, yeah. So I would really like that is one of the reasons why I would love to get, you know, the police and the defense forces and so on to come and explain or define how they arrive at the conclusion that it is intent to supply. How do you get to that? How do you get to deduce that that is what I am doing? How you get to that? I am, you know, based on what I've just highlighted to you, Banky, and I mean, you know, I'm not preaching to you. I'm just trying to put this scenario out there because
of course, it makes sense.
Need to be done where this is concerned for people to have a true understanding of this. Banky, there are people who may not have that skill like me and you. that can take care of plants and get that
Yes.
kind of, or they might not have the understanding of what we know what it wants at what stages and so on, and is able to provide that to the plant. And we as a man might be
Yes.
going to Meadow, and let's not use cannabis. I might be going to
Of
Meadow,
course.
another farm over there going to Meadow, and another farm over there going to Meadow. And he might only be getting a half pound off of each one of his trees. He might be getting 2 pounds.
Yes.
And based on what I am doing, I'm getting 8 pounds off of each tree. And it is
And
because
I
I
gonna get
have
30.
certain knowledge and certain skills.
Yes.
You,
And I will
you
get
know what I
30. I can
mean?
harvest up to 8, 9 months. I still get the same plants. I got bell pepper cheese
Okay.
that I have over a whole year. Since last year June, I've been having them plants there. When I went to Indonesia, and I still have some of the same plants them. Because these trees you can have them
We got a
for a very
question.
long
We got a
time.
question here on the wall, Banky. Says greetings,
Yes.
Rastafari people. That moved quickly, but I think it probably might have been a YouTube question. Let me see if I could get on the YouTube platform and find that comment. But anyway, real time Banky. A fool is wise in his own disguise. Do you remember how we were afraid to eat aki?
Yes, I.
Yeah.
And even cassava, they
Yeah.
say cassava and poison you.
Yeah. You know. Let's see if I find Real Entertainment Network and see what's going on over here. And in terms of the
Yes,
comments,
but
okay, so we got a lot of comments going on over here. So let me see the one that I was looking at. Rasta people, what amount of plants can you grow without a license? Remember, it's a constitutional right, and the right don't require a license to enjoy it according to the court's ruling. And that is part of
true.
what we are saying. If it's your right, I don't see why you need a license to exercise your right. That is, and see, but here's the
Because
thing:
yes, and this
we
part,
do
what the man put
sometimes
in
have a
this
lot of
part
these
here.
questions, Banky, but the people who to answer
Remember,
these questions are not
then
coming
guys,
forward.
yeah, but they said this. Remember, I asked this question already. No, I asked this question: what the purpose of this registering for? And they say it's outside. There was international. The Babylon, them outside there in the US, they want us to register so they could keep a tab on who go weed. That all it is, Virgin. The way it is, that's what they say. International rules. International rules what? Oversee your constitution. So you watch them books who go weed in America and with them there. And they will tell you for you people to go 5 trees, you must keep a tap on them. But you keep a tap on me. I should be able to grow 100,000 trees if I want to, my virgin. My home and my farm is my sanctuary. Your home is your sanctuary. Me not join an organization, so my farm is my sanctuary. So I could get my whole 5 acre float of weed. The Babylon supposed to come tell me nothing, because it is my sacred place. You see, that's how it is, and people need to understand that. Me not join an organization, so I'm my own organization wherever I dwell. And me plant food, that is my sanctuary. So I supposed to plant anything there because that is my sacrament. That's it. And that's what people are supposed to overs. So me now about Babylon. Babylon is supposed to worry about me. Because me all to keep peace and I plant food.
No,
That is the least. Me the least of the
Banky,
problem.
here is one of the issues that I have. We have a lot of these things happening still, and we have elected
Of course, it is
officials
wrong.
who are charged with
Them no love herb, brethren. Admit that first. Them no love herbs. So address it
look how quick they
first.
run and do this SSC. Look how quick they run and go and pass this SSC bill and got it gazetted and ready to go do these
Because they
things
love
and so
tourism,
on.
yes, son. They love tourism. They love tourism. Tourism is real
But
estate. Tourism is real estate. You see?
cannabis can
No,
bring
tourism.
tourism
No.
too. This kind of
No.
tourism too.
No.
Ask Jamaica,
No.
ask St. Vincent, ask Uruguay.
I said
All of these countries
no.
that are freed it up Canada, ask Canada.
Money too slow. Money too slow. You gotta give me, the farmer, the money. We're not giving no kickbacks, you know. You see what I mean? You control your resources, the farmer need the resources, you know. That's the difference. Real estate, once you have to bring anybody here to sit down and live here, they need a lawyer. Anybody. Then they need a realtor, they need a home, they might need this. So it's an alliance of people. You see when you got dance and so keeping a foreign or even around you, so you see the same people on the same flyer. All them are friends. They're in the same alliance. They support each other dance. So every time you say flyer, the same 10 sound on the same dance. All them are friends. And that's how it is. And the same thing when it comes to real estate. You hear any liar talk about these things here? How much liar in the sinking of navies? How much? You hear them talk about it? Which one? The only liar here speaking about this is Mr. Charles Gaskell. All right? And he's a Caucasian. He's the only liar. He's a constitutional liar. Speak out against it. You hear any native lawyer speaking about these things where they have to dwell, and Mr. Gaskell is not a native. You see? He's not a native. He's a Caucasian. And he's speaking about navies and protecting navies land. So who love you? The land, the locals, are they not nationals? Because they benefit, my virgin. That's the whole point. They're going to benefit. They must get a cut out of the deal with all these people who are coming. Real tourism is real estate, my virgin. And the quicker we address it as real estate, and then the people come in, they want hundreds and hundreds of acres of land. They don't want no 100 acres and 200 acres. That ain't nothing. They want all the land.
This is why I say, and I ask a question, if we're really independent. Because
yes,
those
the politicians
who are
supposed
to be independent, those who we're supposed to be independent from, were those who were keeping the lands away from us. They will occupy the lands, they utilize the lands to make millions and billions, create all kind of value-added products that they sell back to us at exorbitant prices. And even after getting freedom, so to speak, our forefathers had to work another 4 years free. And then even when they got independence, they were not given anything. They had to find money for themselves, so to speak, to do whatever it is to build St. and Nevis. But those who we entrusted have sought to keep the plantocracy system, keep the system that was never designed for us intact. And that is part of where the problem is. So that's why I'm asking about the independence, because they are more concerned with maintaining that system and maintaining what belongs to the crown, what belongs to Massa. So so it seems as if that they have just been custodians for the land. So that's why we have to look at it from that perspective. They seem to have just been holding on to these lands until they're coming back again, because they're coming back again now in a different form. And these people who have been there, who we elect, thinking that they're there to represent us, but they're telling us plainly, by me not represent you, I pay allegiance to King Charles III, his and his successors. And who King Charles be? King Charles and his monarchy were those who had us in bondage and were not giving us nothing. And even seeing Christina, what you're talking about, had them been in charge when Christina sing. So we have to be able to understand how a lot of what was in the past, and they tell us, so when as Rastaman they say we are to talk about the past, and we are to talk about African, we are to talk about all of these things that don't happen. And so, like Marcus Garvey would have said, people without a knowledge of their past and their cultural roots and heritage is likened to a tree without roots. And if we really don't take the time out to really recognize how what happened in the past play a role with what happening today, that is why for them they don't have a problem in selling out the land, because in them land still Massa land, and they only look after Massa making sure they are right, because remember they get in all of these perks, they get in pay, they get in per diem, they get in all of these things, and then when these people from out there come back in, they're gonna get the little, money in the campaign fund and the little perks under the table. And I just said some of them are lawyers and some of them are realtors and so on. So they're gonna get a cut, as you mentioned.
Check up on your comments and them, yes, on for the one we left you, because you see we get a lot of comments and so forth, At least get a feedback on what the people are saying.
Sherry and Richard says, listen, now what this sounds like, these HOA in America want to tell the homeowners what you can and cannot do on the paying taxes and maintaining. She says, so it's the same regulations they're trying to to have in the Caribbean. Troy Hydeia says knowledge is power. It's imperative for the politicians and the lawmakers and the police officers to have knowledge of cannabis so they can discern. Troy Hydeia says they are aware, but they don't hear. Lisa Hickson says, how can a law pass pertaining to weed for medical use and no amnesty was given? St. Vincent bypassed it and now only internationals benefited. Greetings, Rasta. Maybe you need to clarify that a little bit, Lisa. But I'm glad that people are coming on, Banky, and people are engaging in the discussions that we are having because they're very pertinent.
Yes.
And one of the things too, even though we are celebrating independence around this time, the experience that we have and that we speak about in relation to St. Kitts and Nevis, it is very similar to many of the islands around the Caribbean. And that's one of the reasons sometimes too I love to listen to other stations and media houses in different Caribbean territories, because I find that a lot of the issues sometimes that they're having, in some cases,
Same
either we
thing.
would have dealt with them, we have similar situations, and so I love the fact that we can have different people listening and feel and share their views and so on, and also help to bring certain other issues to the table.
Each
But
one
Banky,
each one teach one, your son. We all learn from each other,
yes,
and
right.
that's the thing about
Yes, right.
reasoning.
This
You just
this
reasoning
cannabis
loud,
issue, this cannabis issue is something that I am very much concerned about, and I'm not necessarily a person that pay too much
So where's your
attention
Minister
with
of Agriculture?
concerns.
Where's your Minister of Agriculture, Nevis, on this?
Well, you see, Banky, so that is where I was going just now, because I was saying I'm not a person who really is too much with the concern side of things as much as I am a part of the influence. And we are not hearing anything from the Minister of Agriculture and Nevis, who deals with the medical side of cannabis, or should be. And St. Kitts,
You
we're
hear?
not hearing anything from
Remember?
the Ministry of Ecclesiastic
Yes.
Affairs Minister. And he deals
Yes.
with that side that deals with the 56 grams and the 5 trees and the things that Sankofa would have taken them to courts for. Because remember, Sankofa didn't take them to courts for medical cannabis, Medical cannabis was not on the agenda, He went there for personal use and for spiritual and religious
Privacy.
use of cannabis.
Yeah.
The government has opted to push the medical side because they saw and see how it can bring in revenue from the taxes and the different licenses and so on that would be required for businesses to set up. However, seemingly the SSZ is offering to them, and I have to say seemingly based on the rush to push it in the House and the rush to even gazette it, even amidst all of the discussion and the debates and the pushback. And we have to be careful, that a lot of these people have not signed on to and have made certain agreements with some of these developers so they can't turn back, because a part agreement, Banky, as we were pointing out and as I was reading out the other night, is that both parties do a part of the agreement. As long as the agreement is made, they have a responsibility to sell the project, And that is why you would find on the Nevis end, the Premier is doing as much to try to sell. When I say sell the project, let me be correct, because I know these guys, have their way with words. Sell the idea of the project onto our people and to encourage them to sell their lands and so on. Because it is important for them to win over and have the investors be comfortable that everything is okay, that they would not be having any problems when they come to spend their money. So they have to be a part of. So see that it seems as if they're even doing more of a PRO work than the company itself.
So yes, son. Right now, the investors them in have 600 acres of land acquired, but 20 years ago, they was given 600 acres The land still there from Penny's Beach, a very Penny's Beach hotel there, where we go up as a youth, go up to Malcolm Gishard Park, where they have the beach bars. So we use my virgin Sunshine, which is world famous. Big up Sunshine, you don't know. You know what I mean? Which part Sunshine there? All the land there, inside there. You say how much acres? So 30 acres?
I think it's 15. I think there's a 15. Yeah. That's about 15.
Where? From where? Down at Penny's Beach, come
I
up
think
to Sunshine?
from the Pennies up to Malcolm Gishard Park. From
It's 15?
Pennies, including Pennies, or you including the Pennies section too? Oversight. Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Okay,
Over
yeah,
30
so maybe
acres.
about 30. Yeah, maybe about 30 acres. Yeah, maybe.
Good.
Yeah.
That 30 there right there. That land, the Newfoundland, you know, that the government and give away, you know. I remember what 20 years ago, more than 20 plus hotels supposed to come in, you know. Don't you cross the road, but the bypass road, go up to Mount Travers up there. That's the next 500 and something acres, you know. Well, minister, no, the land is as long with bush. Well, why we can't take back these land in the name of the people and extend New Gents Height and develop and build we own luxury home to people sell a half acre and a quarter acre and an acre land, and we build with homes and different stuff inside the end and have beachfront properties so we can live on the beach. So we can live and then
Long
turn the whole rest of the area, the green area there.
Short answer.
Wow.
You
But we'll make sure to show you
New Gents Heights setting up New Gents Heights and expanding the villages and so on. It's not going to put $5 million in the campaign fund.
Okay. But we don't care about that part though. But watch this.
But you don't care.
600 acres still, but 600 acres still long enough for over 20 plus years, you know. So you how you can develop the land there, but you want to come and develop 2,400 acres?
Watch. You ain't care.
Explain the one that to me.
When that deal was strike, right? When that deal was strike, maybe it was close to an election, right? And they needed to get the money, win the election, and after they win the election, that's it. So the objective, you see, your objective would be different, because your objective would be by really want to help our people and get our people. Some of these guys' objective is just to win the next election, to be able to have access to all of these things for another 5 years, because they will get access to the treasury and the funds that we have, and they get access to these people who would come with these opportunities where they could make a couple $1 million under the table, where they should, whatever. Because remember, when it comes to campaign funds, they don't have to claim, they don't have to say who they get it from, you know, and they don't have to say how much either, you know. So they're legal to take any amount, you know. So who knows if some of these people who are coming with these don't already give them promises and maybe don't put certain money, certain places and so on. So no, they have to. By whatever means necessary, try to convince the people that this is the best thing that they need to do.
New Gents Heights, those land was sold years ago, you know. Years ago. Then I had no access, no roads, no water, nothing inside there. When the government had changed, and then the government come in under Parry, he put in the infrastructure, drive to New Gents Heights now. You see how much Nevisian have built homes inside that area there. Beautiful homes. Same luxury homes the Premier keeps speaking about and stressing on. The people in Nevis not got mud house and straw house, you know. The houses in Nevis are luxury homes. Every home is uniquely designed and stuff like that. Sitting on a half acre and upper of land and stuff like that. So it shows that our people have the will and they know how to develop their own land. You just have to put it inside of their hand. But it's obviously we are quicker. Because you see, one of the things that I stood there reasoning with a virgin, with schoolmate, Matty, because the man they spend time in the Bermuda, you know. And the man said, virgin, Nevis they go just so with there. Because I tell you something. In a Bermuda, the locals them is the minority. They're outnumbered by other races. You see? Them are the minority. And then there's so much things, and they're so overpopulated where you're only limited to one vehicle per household. You'll have to set up a business where you can get a car for your business. Or if you got a rental property, you can attach a car to that property and all this different stuff. So when a man say, you want your population might be good, we'll encourage your locals them to get more children where you can provide whatever you figure it out, a stipend instead of wasting money and stuff like that. Figure it out. but you don't want to say you want to bring in 10, 30,000 people to overpopulate your country where your people become the minority. And then you don't even know who is the indigenous people. This thing don't make no sense. Make no kind of sense. And especially when there's no collaboration with your people. Nothing is wrong with development, you know. But nobody need 2,500 acres of land in Nevis. No development need to have more than 10 acres. 10 acres is a lot of land. 5 acres is a lot to put any kind of development plan. You overs. So these kind of ideas is just boiled. Do you hear any liars on your attack? Which one? They not attack. You got what a name. They're gonna benefit. You bring 15,000 people here. How much liars they gonna benefit out of that? Some of them probably only want 200 out of the 15,000. Or some of them probably just want 10 or 20 and the content with that. You see? So these are just the reality until we start looking at tourism as real estate, where the more people come to visit your country over and over, they only want at least 100 of them to come back and invest at 200. If you're going to bring thousands of millions a year time, at least a good couple thousand will keep coming back over the years, because they're going to make comparison to every different places they go and realize, okay, this is the one we find with niche. And that's the reality. We have our kind of United States retired judges live around here. Our people live around here on the island that you don't even know they live here, because the place is up secured and tranquil and laid back. People are just in their own world where they are undisturbed. The place is untouched. It's just we, as Malcolm X say, the new educated Negroes, I would call them the Wazungu. It's not just in the Bantu language or the Akan language that mean the white man or the Caucasian or whoever it is. It means foreigner. And if you are your own people going to destroy your own land, you too have become the foreigner, destroying your own people. So our leaders are the new Wazunga. Them are the new enslavers. Our own people.
Banky,
yes.
Like I see a comment here on the wall says cannabis is a multi-million-dollar business in America. So someone is fooling us or themselves. And this person said multi-million. An idea to add multi-billion and billion-dollar industry globally. And so I don't understand why a government who would have over the past 3 years went ahead and do all of this, decriminal. This is like how they moving with geothermal. Because I was on a Zoom call earlier on today, and Dominica has moved so far. I think Dominica is turning on the switch to their first 10 megawatts geothermal plant sometime next month. I stand to be corrected, right? If not next month, it's probably December.
Right? That's the difference, because they're not fighting, opposing each other.
A lot of lip service. And it's the same thing with cannabis. We would have moved forward in the industry. And look how far St. Vincent have gone ahead of us in terms of and some of the things, the things that they would have done, for our people. Now, what we are proposing with cannabis, if done correctly, it can empower our people to maintain the land. We could be making all these millions of dollars off of the same land and don't have to sell it out. We don't have to sell it out. And even some of these lands, what they call them wasteland out there, they would be amazed to see how much greenhouses could fit over there.
So why is wasteland? Me just say 600 acres. They sit down. So they're not wasteland too? Along with the other couple thousand, they sit down with the maybe about 600 acres or 3,000 there,
Hold on.
This still amount of land, this is more than over there,
I am only using the phrase that they use, I'm only using the phrase that they use. That they say out there.
So when they say that, they came up to the other land that they sit down too. You see?
I'm still using the example that even if they say it's wasteland, right? Based on agriculture and the technologies that we have, we could put on greenhouses.
Indian Castle was wasteland, Remember, Indian Castle, the Archer was wasteland too.
Desert. Like, hardly any grass go there summertime and some of them are full them out of greenhouse. And you'll be surprised to see how much food coming out of them spaces there. So, I am just trying to show the public that there's no, to me, need to really push this SSZ the way that they're seeking to push this SSZ, as much as they should be focusing on giving the locals some opportunities to make some money out of the cannabis industry and empower themselves and empower people to become agripreneurs. There's so many other industries. We're not talking about the smoking. We're talking about being able to make some of these products, whether it's the shampoo, whether it's the lotion, whether it's the oils, whether it's the soaps. I mean, there are a lot of people who are making them at present, but there are a lot more. If the industry is opened up properly, they can then even feel more comfortable to make more products, brand, and put on the commercial market. And that is what we would want to see a lot more of. And then we would have a lot more people who are empowered, not by just cannabis, and not by just the value-added products of cannabis, but also of many other agricultural crops. Because remember, cannabis has now been placed also as an agricultural crop. And so that is the kind of thing that we're looking for. We're not talking about this because we're just trying to get on the smoking side of things. We are showing and seeing how this can really catapult the industry in a way that would be more better for us as a people, because we would be utilizing our lands the same way Europeans utilize the land. Because as we talk about independence again and now in our history, it was sugarcane, coffee, cocoa, coconut, tobacco. All of these are plants, all of these are agricultural crops. All of these are what they use to make millions and billions, because they grew them in the Caribbean. They say they own these countries, these islands in the tropics, and they use them to grow the raw material for them to make this fancy cigars and fancy cigarettes, and to make they use this sugar cane to make the molasses to make the rum, and then sell you back the rum, make you get drunk and stupid and fool up yourself, and then come back on the plantation to work again and sell you all of the processed food and whatever it is that they would have processed from the things that they force you to grow. So why is it that now we have the lands, we have access to the lands, that we are opting to sell it out for somebody else to develop, when we could develop it, when we could empower our people to develop it? Eh? I mean, you're telling me you were going to put in a road over there, but you change your mind from putting in the road because you have whiff of a possible project that you don't have no, well, sorry, I can't say you don't have any guarantee. Because what they have been doing now is shifting the goalpost to make sure that they have a guarantee. Because remember when they started, they said a minimum of 500 acres. When they realized that there's going to be this pushback, and it means that maybe they might not make that 500 minimum, they say, okay, no, you don't need to have a minimum and you don't have a maximum. You could even have 1 acre. Because that is saying, Banky, you could start whatever you have now. No, it makes sense.
Yes.
Start whatever you have now, but we can still continue to encourage the people to sell out. So you could still buy, even though you might start with 150, you're still working to get Banky to sell you the 100 over there. And you're going to Banky, get a little trouble. Man, you do what you need to do to get Banky to come around. And so they continue and continue, and they're going to still buy more till they get what they want. But now they have
and
the
then
leeway.
There's no maximum.
So
you can have 20,000. Exactly. So you can have 20,000 acres. There's no leeway. What kind of mind frame is this?
But they will start with whatever. They will get the opportunity to start with whatever they could start with now. So if they only have 80 acres right now, they could start with the 80 acres. And then, according they buy a car and add on to the number. When you are not watching, because remember, after you start, it's going to be a hot story for a while, and people going to forget about it.
Let's go back again. Because I want to make comparison. So why you only seeking the land on that side? Because remember, over there is not the rain zone, the most arable land. But for me, everywhere in Nevis is good land. But just saying in the rain zone from Penny's area, but come back to on Cades Bay, going up to Hag Valley area, in the rain zone. Well, how come all the land there sit down? No, let me say what I say, man.
The question has been answered.
Go ahead. Yes.
That question has been answered. When the premier was here, he said that it was the developers who opted to be interested in
buy that.
Those areas.
I ain't buy that. Here what? The only difference with those land there. Well, me have a right to buy it because I know the only difference is over there. is that the other land that I talk about is owned by non-national. It's owned by Caucasian. Then now sell them the land. Anbas got 800. Go right up to Barnes got in the mountain areas, the most beautiful areas. Gaskell the same way. Gaskell now sell them the hills land. Mount Travers, who they have under the pennies now, which those lands supposed to be was Mr. Weird land. I don't know how these people get these land. You see what I mean? Though Scarborough, Four Seasons, all these large land owners, which is non-national, how come they not take them with land that not used for the same over 100 years? But what the difference be? So who own it so? So everybody who own in a kindergarten and all the politicians are wise and everybody else. So that way it is.
No. They have
That's the way it is.
They have the right to offer them to buy the land to, and they could sell them if they want to, the same people who are talking about on the other side. They have if they want to sell it, they sell it. We don't know if they ask them. Remember Destiny,
you don't know?
They were interested on that side. The Destiny people who are here,
that's what it's saying.
They are interested on the south side. That's why they call the company Destiny. So they are interested in getting that side, and the government is interested in helping them to encourage the locals to sell them the land so that they can make it happen.
So you're going to drive across the Nevis, come across the coastline, come across from St. Kitts, which any end. And when you come across by the Caribbean Sea in the center Nevis, and you're going to look at the mountain peak, come down with all the lush land in front of your face, all that land, much more than over on the other side over there. And you're going to choose over there? You're going to choose over there. No, though the children bring the work, so.
Banky. If my intent, what if my intent is to have a place where nobody accustomed to go and me want to go my own thing over there and me by myself and set up my own thing over there?
But you go up there, so when you left Penny, you go up in the bush, which part nothing there from the main road, go up to the top of the mountain, who go up there? Who get in the whole area there? The whole area there, you see and touch.
I over so me want go. I want go over there where I got me own. See, but remember I want me own port. I want me own port. I want me own marina. You just want your mountain land.
No. You're going to buy out the park, the Macogation park. Yeah, they're going to
sell that. No, so let me show you. I want.
Really?
I get in 12. How much acres of the seabed me get? 12 miles? 12 miles of seabed me want. I put me on my own yacht. No, me want come in and bring in.
That in the whole water. That in the whole water. That in the whole water.
You stay there. You stay there. You stay there. I want to get my own system over there. Remember, I gonna get my own water. I gonna get my own power. I gonna get my own everything out there. I got my own police. My own everything.
Okay. So well, that's mean your son. If you got all this money, you could go and get some judges and go somewhere and judge in the ocean and create your own space that you want. That's easy.
Well,
you're billionaires, you know?
Some of those developments have done that. There are some of them who have done that. They reclaim land and they build out in the ocean and so on. They build. Yeah, there are some who have done that.
Well,
this one, is trying to. The objective is to get an island. So they said that they want a government that is.
So why Nevis? Why Nevis?
Because they want a government who is in debt. Because they want a government who is in debt.
Or in a debt.
That's a part of the requirement. They're looking for a government that is cash strapped, that is in debt. That they could help out.
In debt.
What they want as a result of exchanging the debt.
So where are the billions are sitting down? So where are the billions they're sitting down there for?
Why them man don't
remember you just
what billions?
No.
What billions they sit down? But no billions they sit down nowhere.
How you know?
Billions they sit down where? Where? You mean CBA money? Where CBA money they done gone?
Every money there. It gone?
Gone.
So how Christopher have get all these billions, 100 billion? Where they get it from?
Right. them away gone. Them away gone.
National Bank. No, the money can't done. That's the whole point. The money can't done. Don't be fool your son. The money can't done. Does anyone and who is listening to us on our voice feel like we're not gonna money? Let me hear the comment on that one day. Let me hear the money.
Okay, in the
If we don't have any
meantime,
money, we strap.
in the meantime, we could go to some of the comments. Christina was a riverboat
Yes.
they gave us for ocean. Imagine that. Christina was a riverboat that they gave us to operate on the ocean. So imagine this boat was never really supposed to be sailing on them kind of
Yes, son.
waters there.
Let me take this call. Make sure this person wanna come and if not, to hang it up. Carla, good
Yeah, no
evening.
problem.
Yes, greetings. You're live on the topics.
Thanks for the love of the Almighty Haile Selassie the first and Empress May. So, blessed night to thank you and blessed night to the IAS and to your listeners. Them. Just here in the program because I just not long turn on YouTube as you see it. So, what the emphasis on the grounds, we know we still landless, right?
You're listening, you.
And if we look into outline ways to go into an industry where I find the administration is really puppifying the movements of the industry because of this, wherever they have up in the sleeve with the people outside of the aspect of our territories to look for what they're claiming to say we can make this lot of money. This find that our people are not in the great aspiration to have land to assure these benefactors. And you know that too, son. You know that. So let me say this here generally. It's time now people make an agitation to claim that we need this land in our possession and not in foreigners' possession. And I just heard you say people who have this land, you would like to know how they get the land donkey. Well, the only aspect we could say, the old dirty politicians then follow the same, plant the class them and do the same thing to return the land them to the plant the class inheritance them. And that is why we see now our people are still landless around here in Singis and Nevis.
So we're going to do about that.
Now the narrative change.
What are we going to do about that?
It's time now the narrative change.
All right.
Either we stay the revolution in the real aspect for our future generation, or we just step aside and let these cooks here doing what they're doing within fooling off the people.
Yes, sir.
It's time now we have these narrative change.
So yes, I am. Well, I have you online.
Yes,
I know you're part of the Cannabis Authority of the board and stuff like that. What's going on? I know you all have some different consultation going on in Syncit and stuff like that. But on the Navy's end, I know I'm not sure you all reach it out and stuff like that. What's going on when it comes to the meetings going on in Navy's and the Minister of Agriculture? You all reach out to him. What's going on with that part?
Well, I will give you this here generally. The politicians in my explanation are fooling along with the movements that's supposed to be achieving going forward. And why I say that? Because they make so much song and dance in the holy progressive of the time, saying that we will get this year moving off. And when it's time to do what needs to be done, you see that they are hindering a lot of the movements that's supposed to come, especially within educational drive as a part of our source to go within the industry. And we're finding that we're being hindered in going forward. Recently you had Sankofa and West IY and the program there.
Yes.
So you had the discussion and you asked something very important. Why is it that these dialogue are taking on the shores of Nevis? Which that was it, the next move that was supposed to be a call. But the Ministry of Agriculture is playing a tick for that game. I don't know what right now the minister has in place, but they need to stop this bull crap. Because if you say you all are so in making sure that people get these movements going forward, why are you all still hindering to make the progress move forward? For your personal game are not going to work. And I will say this again. Any investor coming here and feel like they're going to get the dominant of our people within this industry, it's time now we realize we cannot continue making these things here before investors or for our people. We have to know how to gravitate economic, social development and bring our people to the awareness of how we can deal with things properly and not how we want it to rush because we're looking for some kind of fame and gain. This is not how you go work. So the educational part within the Nevis aspect need to be a little bit forward. We done a show by the newly PRO who is on the ground working with I&I in the license authority, and she has put her format within how she gonna go within sourcing our information to the public, but without the proper channel of funding that she need to push, and within the newly CEO that's supposed to be announced, all of that is another problem. You see? So these are the ways that we're still fighting an uphill battle.
You said you mentioned there's a new you mentioned there's a new CEO?
Yes, there should be a new CEO. Remember, Dr. Garfield Alexander have to step down because of some differences that these people don't want to approve, having him being as the acting CEO and knowing that they're still paying a man a full salary over the core of where he's supposed to be getting.
So the new CEO is already appointed, it don't been chosen? If
Really, the new CEO have been chosen but not being appointed, and now all the information shared to I, and I will say to you, because I'm not afraid to say a thing, I mean I work for Babylon, I work for the liberation of our people, is that they now want to put it into our hand to appoint the new CEO, which that wasn't what was stated. But as I tell you all, this tick for that is playing with, and they need to stop it. Both the minister and EPS and others who are following that trend by the administration who is ruling this Federation of Singles and Nevis, they need to do with the bull crap. And I'm serious about that. It's time now them man come up clean and make our people get our sure in how we're going forward. If you're saying that there is allocation of funds to make the industry going forward within the license authority, up to now we cannot issue a license to the public. Even though people say they have a license, there is a license issue. There is none officially issued. Even though when they had the launch of the license authority building launch,
yes,
there wasn't an official license paper given to the OIU. So let me let you all know that.
So you got a blank paper? We got a blank paper?
I know what the president they walk with, because when I heard about it, that the presentation coming and I see who was on the head of the table, I had to make a move. And when they make the presentation, I know how they for that presentation. But it's a blank paper. It is what I get to gather. And it's a shame to see the make that they look like it's something in touch, and when you look finally, it's not in touch. They need to put things in proper perspective and stop playing around here. That's my view. And that's why I say now without any fear or favor. Blessed Lord.
I appreciate it. Yason, one of the things that when we had give thanks for us and that contribution, we had when I asked IRI about the meetings, and he's saying they have right to the minister in Nevis, and they haven't getting any response when it comes to having the town hall meetings and stuff like that. And I even asked him if the minister himself would be a part of the discussion. He laughed and chuckled and say he would love to, but I mean, so they not even get a response from the Cannabis Authority, from the Minister of Nevis, and that says a lot. And that been months now. You hear it from, and that these are the board been reaching out to the Minister in Nevis, Mr. Eric Ibrahim.
This speaks to what I've been saying, what I've been telling you for a while. These people are being paid by us to do a job, and we are not holding them accountable. And it's because we are not holding them accountable why they seemingly are continuing to do what they're doing because they're not getting any repercussions for what they do. So what we have to understand is that when they go and do certain things, they're doing it on the basis or the argument that they're doing it on behalf of us, and also that we send them to do these things, So when these politicians went in there to sign this SSZ bill, what they were going in there and saying in Parliament is that the people who elect them tell them to go in there to do this, This is what the people are saying that they want, When
not like pan me.
Hold on.
Not like pan me,
this
not
is,
me.
But this is what happens when your government representative go in there, because that's what is being said. So it is not said directly, but it is said indirectly, because how our government system operates, those who we elect
So which means,
represent the
so we are grateful
constituency.
then. So we've been
Well,
ungrateful then.
that is what they're
So
selling.
we've
But
been
that
ungrateful.
is why the premier is making so much noise, because we're doing. Remember, he says you are saying that no investment come in. You are saying that, so now we go do this for you. You still coming and making noise. That is what is happening here, because they go and say that
So
they go and do this on behalf of you, but they not had no consultation with you. And now that you realize that they have been doing
yes.
this, and you're getting a pushback. That is what's going on. And it's the same thing here.
So all
No,
so
you
all
have
who
a
are
cannabis
commenting
industry
and all these different stuff is being ungrateful. That's what it is. We not appreciate what
being
the
ungrateful and not appreciative, and they don't care either that you're
okay.
making noise, and that's why they say ignore the noise, because here's it. Even though you were making noise, it wasn't gazetted. When we had the interview with the premier said it wasn't gazetted, up to that point. I mean, if you remember, I asked a question, I specifically asked a question.
Of course.
And he said at that point it
Yes.
was not gazetted. But we are hearing a couple of days after that it was gazetted. So, which means, regardless of what the people are saying, these people are trying to let these investors know we're going to do what we need to do to make sure that this thing happens for you. You just make sure you all got the money, make sure you all got all your things together, because we are going to convince these people, and okay, what they say. We don't see it, even if they vex or the waiver, we don't gone in and we don't pass it in the bill and we don't gazette it. We could now talk to her, and try to sell it to her, because we don't do it. Whether you like it or not.
Yes, son, we have an next call coming in. Let me see what this caller have to say.
Yes, facilitate the call. Yes, definitely.
Caller, good evening. Hello.
Yeah, hello, good evening to you guys, man. How you guys doing today, man?
Yes, I'm very good. How are you doing? Welcome to the topics.
Yeah, thanks. Straight to your song.
Yes.
Your song. And to the listening public here, we actually hearing that this SSC law it was already gazetted. But it seems like it was done in secrecy also again. Did any one of the parliamentarians, did anybody say that it was gazetted? And need for them to say that at all to the public?
I ain't hearing anything like that. I hear nobody comment on that.
Yeah, there was, I think even man is calling on the 2020 show Saturday and said that. Anyway, let me just forward, right? Because there's a clip circulating today from Timothy Harris, right?
Yes.
And we heard some comments from the Prime Minister saying that at the round table he had the other day, he is saying he don't want to be a part of what has already done transpired on Nevis with these this SSC land and the proposal of the enclave. Well, what he's saying, I'm gonna go straight to it. He's saying that per the Constitution, it doesn't allow the Prime Minister to be involved with the Nevis lands. This stuff can't be real, because it just now seems to be like they are breaking the Constitution. This is what I'm gathering from that Timothy Harris clip. And there have been some references to this from other people.
Yes.
And they're saying that there's a part in the Constitution that anything to do with the Nevis lands has to be done in the NIA Assembly. Like this bill that was tabled and passed in the Federal House. What I'm gathering from the Timothy clip is that he's saying that bill should have been tabled inside the NIA.
Okay, caller. All right, let me take a next call here, and then you can call back.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Sure. Thanks.
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, no problem.
Caller, good evening.
Yes, thank you. I'd like to emphasize on what you just asked where the money gone, and if anyone out there could say that things are easy and the money.
Yes.
Let them essence that now. I will say basically we have money.
Okay.
We have money because we are service provider for the whole criminal gangsters. Them that we didn't have the money, that Eastern Central Bank could have done move out to St. Kitts and Nevis. You hear me?
Yes, I.
As the capital bank in the region for the Eastern Caribbean, Central Caribbean countries. Them. So let me say this here generally. It's just that we people who here are playing tick for tack when it comes to finance to our development and our people progress. Here is it that we say we are named some national heroes who have robbed our federation over the prior years for all the wealth that we have drawing. And up to this day, the people are still under the economical ladder, still being fed by hand to mouth. It's a shame to see all this wealth that being gravitated for years have not been distributed where it's supposed to in the proper phase. So, yes, and you know, when you was up there in where they call petition hill, it was well supposed to be developed, and because of the greed of these politicians and the investors that they create, we find that the place gets upside than what it was supposed to really enhance for the community that is located in, not just in St. Paul, but in the area of the direction that it pursue to develop. And here it is, we're still seeing that this year is not showing that it's supposed to bring back the capital that you're supposed to revenue at. Let's look at even the Beacon Night, where they say that it's supposed to be an investment for Social Security with all that money that was put in. And where is it? Where is the return that we're seeing out of that? Where is it? Who we gone to? Where the value was really showing for us as a people moving forward. But we could always see these administrations going out, taking this money and spending the money. And then when we're left with people going back to be paying these like the heavy fine for these interest rates that is put on our people's shoulders. It's a shame. It's like me now in the college because I'm not tutor with a guy to where he or she be. Because there's a lot of blasphemy with these educational patterns that they're bringing amongst our people. And thinking that because they got their bachelor's and their MBA, all those crazy thing what they call as an academia, they feel like they're so intelligent, but they forget what the common level go within. Love, peace and harmony, not hatred. So all who don't feel like they got this stamina with the hatred, time will come and let them know. They must be removed. You all have a blessed night.
Yes, good evening, Asaya. But yes, son, you see, ain't everyone who have the academics act like that, you know. Those who have their egos have always been the kind of person, because I have many brethren who are doctors and engineers. You not even know. You know what I'm saying? So these things don't, it's just those who you see act the kind of way. It's just those kind of person. Because you see, as Asaya just mentioned, the central bank. Remember, that is the institution that set the presidents, you know. And them up there build a mansion with no budget. So this is like the hospital bill in end to it. You just a bill with no plan. So how can you take central bank when you go into a bank, you ask for $10 and they want your whole life? But the central bank, they're supposed to govern these things. Nobody gonna plan. You just a bill a mansion for the governor's mansion with you're supposed to cost say 4 million, then up in the nearly 20 million or more when that they're going done. So if that institution can't set a president when it come to finishing a project on time, when it come to finance, and them is supposed to be the helm of the financial district, you want to take that serious? You want to take that serious when they can't even run their own project with all these cars over non-stop? Nobody could talk about it. So who fooling who? You see? Can look at the hospital. 8 years ongoing. Nah, done. But you want to talk about a special zone. That guy own hospital. I own medical, but you want not gonna finish. You see? No roads there. They're gonna put in the roads and that. It's craziness, my virgin. Or people are not blind, you know. So where this? So everybody is blind, and the ministers them got one eye. So in the land of the blind, the one eye man is king. So all them got one eye and all we blind.
Well, not really in a banky. You know, we already on that 2 hour. We're gonna be wrapping up in a bit, so we're gonna get into the final comments and so on. But before we do, there are this comment here I'm going to pay attention to. It says, our vote for them means what actions they do is what we want, because they supposedly are doing what we want. And this is something that I think, a good point for us to kind of begin to wrap up on, because this is what I was trying to point out to you earlier. And this is why the arguments are being presented. When we elect these representatives and they get the majority, that is what they are saying. But the people send them. It's the people send them in the house to do these things. The same people who they have not consulted with. That is why right now they went in the passed bill saying that the people send them to do this, And now they're coming back to the people after they done pass the bill and trying to sell them what they didn't consult with them on. And so these things are what we need to understand so that we could have our people be more informed in the discussions and realize that how important their votes are, and the reality that when these people make these decisions without consulting them, they have to deal with the repercussions. And there's not much that they can do until that 5 year, that 4.5 years, when they start to come on you, and then your dog start to get accustomed to them because they might come so often that the dog start back after them now and so. For the 6 months before they get that vote, because they know they want your vote, They know they want you just to give them another 5 years. Because you can't turn them away unless it's a vote and no confidence. That's one thing you have to realize. It's a job to do, and they claim. So when they go to assembly, House of doing what you send to, that is the argument. And so we as a people have to really begin to realize that. I did not get into the discussion on Joseph and France, which was one of the things I really wanted to put on the table as well, because so today's national heroes there, and we do celebrate. The reason for the celebration of the day is the fact that the great Robert Llewellyn Bratcher was born on that day. But just as important and as significant, Joseph N. France was born on the 16th of September as well. And many people celebrate the national heroes there and focus on Bratcher, but not much recognition is placed on Joseph N. France, who was born on the same day as well. Some argue the hospital is named after him. But even on the Nevis end, I would have heard, even up to last year, ministers of government saying that Nevis has one national hero, not recognizing the fact that Joseph N. France is also from Nevis, from Mount Lily, Nevis, and is also a national hero of Nevis. So Nevis, two of the national heroes are actually from Nevis. I know the argument may be that his contributions were mainly in politics and St. Kitts, and he was very instrumental in the Labour Party. But apart from the Labour Party, he was very much instrumental in Labour. Because before the Labour Party, there was the Labour Union and the people who really fought for the masses, the working class people. And that is the area where, from what I understand, that he was very instrumental in bringing the people together and empowering the people, and not even just the people of St. Kitts, but also people of Nevis, because they're people who I would have spoken to personally, who would have told me that it is as a result of Joseph and France why they got employed on St. Kitts and eventually relocated to St. Kitts, have families on St. Kitts. And one such person at this point, the offspring, is a minister of government presently. And so he would have made a lot of significant contribution, but I don't think to some extent on Nevis he's given the kind of recognition that should be. And even on St. Kitts, I dare say that he's not given as much recognition. I don't know if because he's from Nevis, it's just that Bratcher, because he was the leader of the party, his works was overshadowed, or is overshadowed. But some food for thought as we wrap things up on this edition of the topics. I want to say thanks to all who would have participated and made their comments. I see Bobby Jones saying it was said on another podcast that there's a criminal probe. Someone filed a criminal complaint against the St. Kitts and Nevis Anguilla National Bank. and it's in front of the DPP in his office. And so I want to thank all those who would have participated, whether it's via comments or it's via call. You were part of making the topics and the Real Entertainment Network platform what it is, and we want to continue to encourage you to those who listen and those who listen, whether it's via YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook, to share the link. Encourage some friend or somebody to listen, so we could have some more new listeners next week as well. Your friends are not my friends on Facebook or YouTube or whatever the case may be. So when you share, you're going to be sharing to another, set of persons who might just, never hear us. Because, Banky, another thing, a lot of people saying, man, I mean, they used to hear us on 2020 Vision, but they don't know where we are. And so a lot of people are, still don't know where we are. So share it and let people know. Thank you guys very much, Banky, and the Entertainment Network team for the collaboration and the efforts put together to make sure that we have this presentation. We want to, as we wrap up, apologize again for those who would have seen the post that we would have had the folks for the New River Cooperative with the Miss Earth Pageant, Merla and Hydeia. We're going to seek to have them Friday on the program to talk more about it. And sorry, Samantha, for not being able to accommodate you this evening. We're going to definitely have another show with Samantha where she will talk about her stage 3 experience with cancer and try to, encourage, folks who are going through that, it's not the end of the world. And, there are people out there who can help you and guide you and give any advice in relation to that aspect of it. So, Banky, your final wrap up.
Well, just want to thank the viewing and listening audience for being a part of the Topics on Real Entertainment Network. Continue to think and encourage ones to get involved and listen to this media house. I know everything is educational, where your views is needed, and in order to move your country to a much better place. And remember, the most important thing for people is its culture and its land, and it's important that you have a say when it comes to the development of your land, and not be encouraged when politicians tell you and make different comparison to other Caribbean islands that have been overdeveloped, where the nationals or the natives have become the minority. It already minority when it comes to the passports. Is over 50,000-60,000 passport of St. Kitts Nevis is outside there. So just imagine how much money and the people itself are really not benefiting from these sales of this passport. It is very sad. We still have the Christiana disaster, have never been settled. We still have the cannabis, which many rights have been infringed on, and still been infringed on, because the Constitution protect us and give us the right to have cannabis in our possession for privacy, for spiritual use, not just Rasta, but every citizen, every native. These are your rights. It is ingrained in the Constitution. And these have been enshrouded upon for years, which those lawyers know these things, but and then you still have the police and the society, the system, and all this different stuff. It's just so much. It's been infringed on these people, and even still going to school. I mean, there are people who still reaching out to me where they are forcing children to get vaccinated. I mean, if you as a parent don't want your child to be vaccinated, I mean, why force children? We have been here for millions of years and still here. Okay, if you design and you believe in a higher power where your body is unique and have the different mechanism to fight against diseases, whereas someone have to come tell you have to give you a vaccination or you got to cut your hair, otherwise, I mean, so much is wrong within our society, and those who are at the helm and not in a position enforce these policies where anybody else would say who don't want to go by this, they have been trod upon. We have a lot to go forward. So in the next, as we say, if we still independent, those things need to be debated, because a lot of stuff we see around here is really not. But definitely, we're still seeking out the Minister of Agriculture, wanting what is the hold up when it comes to have the cannabis discussion by the Cannabis Authority. These are things we need to know, and we want to encourage the youths and them and the females and all who is taking part in the cannabis and learn how to go to cannabis plant. Continue growing your plant. Babylon come and check for you and disturb about your plants. Them record it. Let them know they're infringing on your constitutional right. Ask for their warrant. and you seek a lawyer and take the government to court because these things are wrong. The plant is non-poisonous. So I don't see how you've been charged for having a non-poisonous plant. So this is the craziest about it. So until Friday,
he opposed the vaccination argument.
You what?
Alan say he opposes your vaccination argument.
It no matter. Everybody have Alan to oppose anything you want. Me still stick to what I say. Nothing wrong with that. So people,
yes,
Tuesday, COVID have come out, and me still COVID still, remember I was the unvaccinated and me still the super spreader. And some of you not vaccinated and still nothing wrong with them. So who want to get vaccinated to each his own in my virgin. So it is. Until Tuesday, next week Friday, and this Friday again. This Friday we'll be back, you understand, for the Everything Agriculture show. And I love the tune in the back, Alan too. Nice, love it. Alan, hype.
Alright, so people,
love it.
Next week Friday.
Yeah, man.
And next week Tuesday, and another edition of Everything Agriculture here on Real Entertainment Network. Enough respect.
Nice, every time. Alan a carnival, man. Alan in the party mode. Alan in the party mode. What is early carnival? Sugar mass.
Music for the show, music for the pageant.
All right.